Okay, I have made for those who have follow my page closely. I have actually done TikTok on the latest one, something that PAP want to boast about, but it's actually a waste of money. But unfortunately, after I did my TikTok, and hey, you know what? Someone by the name of Alfred Chu, is it? Alfred Chu. He was previously a writer, a technology writer in SPH. He made a comment in one of the new site called Technogun or something like that. Later, I post it later with regards to this issue. Right now, okay, let me have a cup of tea. You know, PAP likes to make themselves look good by spending great amount of money. By now you should know ERP is actually some world first kind of system they created. No other places in the world actually have such system, electronic road pricing, right? Tracing this. Oh, Billy Lai. Okay, wow, good to see you, man. Wow, you must have some. Must be having an opportunity to earn some money, huh? Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Now, come back to this. PAP likes to do things that make them grand look grand. The first in the world of this, the first in the world of that. Okay. As a matter of fact, when this project of using all these gadgets, right, coming out and to trace cars, so to charge them, okay, yeah, to charge route pricing. I will explain what is route pricing later. Route pricing is not a new concept. It's actually an old concept. Right? I was studying economics in the NUS. They were already talking about route pricing, ERPs, before they put up ERP. Right? I will talk about that later. Right? It's not a new concept. Okay? Route pricing. But this ERP 2.0, it is not just route pricing. It's distance-based route pricing. Okay, it's two different things. Right? I'll explain the difference. Right? Then, apparently, this project started 20 years ago. I was reading. I didn't know because it was only announced in 2013. And guess what? Who was the transport minister back then? 2013. You don't know? Ong Yi Kang. Alright? It was announced. Wow! We have this grand plan, right? Using satellite. We must be proud of ourselves. Wow, Singapore, a small country, can have satellite. I think we have a few satellites of our own. Using satellite to do tracing and to do route pricing, right? Most of it, they spend a lot of money putting up that satellite. Who knows? Okay, but how much does the project cost? I didn't know also. I didn't know. But this Alfred Chu actually put up is over $500 million. The budget over $500 million, 530 million, I think, to do this project. And guess what? By the time I believe in 2013, there were already such technology. Right? According to what we see right now, ERP 2.0 have three gadgets, right? One is the processor. One is actually antenna. Actually, those of you who actually installed the GPS in your car, it's not new. You already have it. GPS actually use a system, right? I have one GPS system also by LTA, by the way, right? You have one thing to detect the satellite, right, for global positioning. right? Then you have, wow, a screen, right? An LCD screen, about just like our handphone like that, to put there to show you the route information, blah blah blah, no? Car park charges and all that. Wow, damn sure, right? But I tell you what, Google already had that. When you drive, you use Google Map when you do the driving. If there's a route congestion or traffic jam, right? It will show with the red one, correct? It's nothing new. Right? Why you reinvent the wheel? Right? Waze is even better. Do you use Waze? W-A-Z-E. Those who drive, you should try Waze. Those who want to know, who don't drive, but you want to know what is Waze, W-A-Z-E. I learned about Waze when I was in Hong Kong, okay? Many years ago. It's a very good also GPS system, right? The Chinese actually have their own system also, right? Because they don't use Google, right? They don't use the AMOS, the Americans satellite. They use their own satellite, so they have their own system, right? I think Baidu have their own system, so it's nothing new at all. When the satellite detected the route right in front of you are filled with obstacles, then it's a congestion. Then it will show up. You should avoid. Nothing new, right? But this bugger in LTA spent more than 10 years. Apparently, I was told it was written in 20 years to come up with such software, so-called, which can actually use one smartphone to solve already. But they want us to install some fanciful, bulky gadget that wastes our battery, our car battery. You know, car battery nowadays are very expensive, okay? Right? And so awful, additional some more, just to fulfill their ego. That they are so smart, the scholars are so smart to think of such great ideas, right? Ideas, a penny a dozen, but cannot implement it on time, faster than other people like Google, like Waze, right? Just to demonstrate their ego, want us to waste our money. It says free, right? No, it's not free, because you are going to use your battery. Your car battery will actually wear out. You'll shorten your car battery faster than you know. Okay? Just for that. Okay, this is number one. Totally outdated system they have. People already thought of it and implemented. Just with a single app, just to download from Google Play. Finish. Full stop. What's so special about yours? That's why in my TikTok, I ask, what can this system do that other system or the current system cannot do? Zero, notch. Or maybe got one thing can do. Later on I explain. Now, the concept of route pricing is like that. Concept of route pricing. By right, to build road is a public goods, right? The government will collect taxes to provide public goods. Correct? It's a government responsibility. But in large places, Malaysia, for example, right? China, for example, some highway are built across a long span, few hundred kilometers. So they will subcontract to the investors, right? Normally investors will build roads. Then they will allow them to collect toll for 20 years, 30 years. Depends on the agreement there. And then that route is actually priced, right? That's called route pricing. If you want to use the highway, right? The first highway was built in China by the Li Ka-shing. He invested in it, right? I think from Guangdong to Shenzhen, if I don't know, I'm not wrong. and you're allowed to collect toll. The same in Malaysia, you have this route, the north-south highway, right? That means from JB, from Tuas, you go up all the way to KL, all the highway. Somebody have to build it. But if it costs too much, and the government doesn't have the money to do it, because it's unlike Singapore. And Singapore is very small, a small city-state, but people are very big chunk of land, right? Then you will subcontract to these big companies with money. They will build roads, they will collect toll. That's why when you go through from Singapore, you drive to KL, you have to pay toll. I think 2 or 3 tolls, right? That is called road pricing, the concept, right? But Singapore, should we allow the government to do that? Of course not, because Singapore is very small, and they already collect road tax, correct? Every year road tax, not that little, and every car is heavily taxed, right? Almost 100% tax on the car, 150%, sorry, right? Then the petrol tax. Petrol tax is basically road tax, road pricing tax. Why? Because the more you use, it means the more you drive. The more you drive, you pay more tax. Is it not? Simple concept. Right? This is called road pricing. So petrol tax is a very effective and very simple way of road pricing. Although it's called a petrol tax, right? But that is road pricing, basically. Right? Because the amount of petrol you use depends on the distance you travel, approximately. Follow me? So what does this distance-based road pricing ERP 2.0 can do that other taxes cannot do? You tell me? Okay. Now, from the 1970s onward, I think 1980s, we start to have this CBD. Those who are too young, you won't know, okay? CBD system. Before we have this ERP system, we actually use a CBD system. Right? Last time is very primitive one. Why would we want to put additional pricing at certain time frame on vehicles that go into certain places? Why? Because CBD is a central business district. So time is money to those people who are the financial center, correct? Those who do business, right? Active economic activities in that place. CBD basically means from Rochor, right? Sim Lim Tower there, right? All the way to Chinatown. That place, that is called CBD. So what they do, we have to buy $2 stickers, very big these stickers every day. That means within a week, different day from Monday to Friday. Saturday sometimes have a shorter time, right? They have different color one. So you will differentiate, right? You have bought the label, right? CBD label, right? And you have to stick. Your car number will be written down there with your car number and the timing that you bought. You stick down there and you go in. And what they do is they station LTE officers at the gantry. Although they don't have these electronic gantries, they are still gantries, right? Guard posts at it. They watch all the cars coming. Got sticker or not? Very big one. Every day different color, so they know the color, correct? If you don't have it, they will write down, they will copy down your vehicle numbers, and you'll be summoned. Okay, that's how they do it. A very primitive, labor-intensive, inefficient system. Right now, the logic is this: there are competing needs of resources during peak hours, right? So you have to regulate the traffic. Why would you have to regulate the traffic? Because people with high value add economic activities, if they are caught in the jam, it will cause there will be opportunity cost. The GDP will be affected, put it that way. That's why this pricing is just to make sure those who are really need to go into the CBD will drive through, or else you can do detour or avoid it totally. You are not the purpose of you going to the CBD doesn't have economic value, then you don't go. That was the logic during the peak hours, right? Now, this mentality idea of electronic road pricing was extended when the gantry came up. So at the highway they put up, right? They put up highway. Why? Because highway can also jam during peak hours, right? Peak hours in the morning, in the late evening when people come back. Okay, that is okay because apart from the CBD, you still have logistic companies. You still have people during peak hours. They have to do transportation, especially commercial vehicles and all that, right? There's a competing needs also. Fine, okay, but PAP got so shook with all this electronic pricing. They start to put everywhere, anywhere. Right? It becomes a taxation instead of a traffic regulation stuff. Regulation 2. It is not meant to be a taxation on usage. It's supposed to be a route traffic regulated. That is where they went wrong. So if you have noticed, apart from the peak hours, last time CBD, after a certain hours, there will be no more charges. But they got so shook because collect money LKYC one. What's wrong with collecting more money? so they start to put all the gantries out anywhere, everywhere. Right? And they can adjust some more. Right? Their logic is, there are more traffic, that's why we can adjust. Now, sometimes demand on the usage on the road is inelastic. No matter how you put $5, $10, people at that time they have to go to work, they have to use it, they will use it. That's called inelastic. Correct? So it becomes a money-making system. And if you have noticed, right, during the COVID time, they switch off all the ERP system, right? What are the hours that you will have this traffic jam on the road? Even now, right, the city area, right, during the days, the ERP is not on. We hardly see any jam unless there's actually road work. So road work is the one that causes traffic jam, not vehicles. That's two concepts, two different concepts. So I want to ask, what is the purpose of ERP, electronic road pricing, or now the ERP 2.0, suka-suka, now no need gantry also can charge you. It doesn't make sense. It's supposed, this additional features of road pricing is supposed to be meant of regulating traffic during peak hours only. Right? However, PAP haven't tell you what is this ERP 2.0 for. There's no plan or no solid plan given to us. Why do you need to spend $500 million to invest in such a technological dinosaur? All right? For what purpose? When the gantry itself is good enough. You mean you want to put gantry all over Singapore? Or you want to price the road anytime, every time, right? Any road in Singapore. only then you need a satellite to do it lah. Correct or not? If not, if your purpose is only regulate traffic or road use during peak hours, gantry will be enough. You mean to say when you go into the PIE to the certain gantry from one point to the other point, right? You come up got different charges. PAP where got so good one? Definitely charge more than what you pay now. Or else how to recover the half $500 million to earn more? There's no ROI on it. Right. And does it mean that even when there is no traffic jam, not peak hour, you are going to charge? If you observe right now, only during the morning peak hours, when you go to the city area, it will be jammed. Even without road work, it will jam. Then I would agree that the route pricing is necessary. And in fact, at this moment, they only have route pricing during the morning and the evening, right? Correct? But of that, the ERP gantry around the CBD are all turned off, and there's no traffic jam, unless you have F1 will allow all the inconvenience, right? Or you have roadworks, unregulated roadworks, suka roadworks, right? 365 days, I think 300 days you got roadworks, right? That is the source of traffic jam. That's another matter. We have to deal with that. Another matter. We are problem solvers. We must understand the problem first before we come to the solution. Okay? So now, if we agree, our consensus as Singaporeans, that the government should not charge for road usage at any time of the day for any parts of the city or of the island, right? Only specific time, the peak hours, at certain places which have economic value, high economic value, like the CBD, correct? Then why should we have to spend this on this ERP 2.0? Because the benefit of ERP 2.0 is only if and only if, right, you are going to charge all day long and everywhere, anywhere in Singapore. So the next election, when the next election comes, you have to all ask the PAP candidates or the MPs or the ministers, what is the ERP 2.0 for? That's number one. If the function or the plan of the charges, how the ERP 2.0 charges is no different from the current timetable, that means peak hours at certain place, then why should we spend so much money on it? $500 million on it. I think more than $500 million. Should overrun the budget, right? Because we have 1 million cars. If we have 1 million cars, one system like that will cost you $100. That's what, how much already? Not to mention the satellite, not to mention the developing, the testing, and the consultants fees. Wow, it's definitely more than $500 million. $500 million. Right? You have to ask them straight into their eyes. What is this ERP 2.0? You don't tell me you don't know. You are the MPs, you are from the PAP. Opposition MPs say don't know, okay. Right? Because we are not in the ruling party. Ask them. Right? It is unreasonable for the government to charge road pricing off-peak hours. That's number one. It's unreasonable for the government to charge road pricing at any place, any time that they suka select. Right? We are a small city state. We are not even large countries like China. I already said China, Malaysia. Even when they charge toll, right? They don't charge the whole toll because that highway is already fixed, correct? From the toll gantry go in and the gantry go out. The distance is already fixed. Then the toll charges will be exactly why you need a satellite to go and check. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of money. Right? Unless you want to track every movement of everybody, because that's what GPS is used for, right? Surveillance. Unless the purpose of this ERP 2.0 is not just about route pricing, it's about surveillance, right? But at whose cost? At our cost. Compromise our privacy. Is that it not? Then is it reasonable? Don't tell me the crap that these are very encrypted lah. Nobody will have access to your privacy blah blah blah. Look, remember the trace together? What they say? Oh, the trace together only used for COVID only, nothing else. But in the end, the police have power to access. If the police have power to access, does the ISD have the power to access such data? And to put surveillance on people like me or anyone else? Is this the means to spend so much money to turn Singapore into a police state? That's the question I ask. What can the ERP 2.0 do that the current system cannot do? You tell me? In fact, a simple petrol tax that have been implemented right now already tax us on road usage. Correct? Why you need all this white elephant? Technological white elephant, I call it. Right? Spend so much money on this for show, just to want to show the world that, wow, how advanced you are, but people are laughing at you. One little Google Map can do what you are supposed to do. Right? One little Waze can do what you are supposed to, you claim that you can do. It doesn't make sense. And worse, make us pay for the battery. My goodness. If the display is optional, like what LTA says, it's optional, you can download the apps, the developer will keep through a handphone, then why is it there in the first place? When it is optional, it's redundant. It doesn't have any value at all. When I drive, I do not need that. Because why? I got a radio. Whenever I travel, I on my radio. Oh, where got traffic jam? I know already. I just avoid it. Simple. Can I live without it? Without this gadget? No. Right. Don't increase our cost of living unnecessarily. This is number one. If we are going to charge route pricing all day long, on top of the petrol tax that you are extracting from us, right? You kill everyone. We are already the most expensive city in the world. You kill every SME, the small and medium company, right? 搶住好唔係幾強 anyhow spend money. And now, after spending our money, you come back to us and say, oh, money not enough, you want to increase GST. Balls to you. This is the government that you have voted, You must remember. Right? You must remember, this is the government you voted. The Singaporeans voted for it. Nobody challenged. Actually, I challenged about this ERP 2.0 long time ago when it announced. I said, what is it for? What do you want to do with it other than to make yourself look good that you're high-tech, so-called back then, high-tech? What do we have right now cannot do what your system can do? Nobody asked. Nobody questioned. Right? Now, if you vote me into parliament, they will not have an easy way out, because I will scrutinize. I will scrutinize everything they are doing. The amount of money they have throwing like nobody business, especially LTA. Well, they claim that they have a first class MRT system. Yeah, MRT system, right? But your MRT system, how much does it cost? Is it overspent? Right? At what cost? And all the cost is borne by us. If you don't have money, you come back to us and increase our GST. The role of government is to collect taxes and money from the people. In return, they decide where to spend, how to spend, who to spend on. That is the role of government. Of course, how much they pay themselves, that's another matter. Put it on the side. Right? So it's important, it's important. Right? The role of government is to do that. And the role of opposition or alternative parties is to check on them. How do they spend the money? Whether they are spending on the right things. If not, always hammer them. Always scrutinize their spending. The role of opposition is not an estate manager to take care of your town council. No, that is not your primary role. That is not, I repeat, that is not, right? In a proper democracy, that is the district councillor's job, not the legislator's job. MPs, members of parliament, are supposed to do legislative work, policy work, and to keep the ruling party in check on how they spend the money, how they allocate the fiscal spending. Apart from foreign policy, apart from national policy like NS and all that. Right? It's just because we do not have effective or enough effective opposition members of parliament, right, for so long. You are giving a blank check to them. Whichever way they want to spend, they just write off. When it doesn't turn out good, it's,拍屁股走了. None of my business. I retire. Right? Always remember this. The role of opposition and the role of government is not to run the town council. I'm sorry I'm not in parliament, right? If not, I would have stopped all this nonsense. I will question them. Your technology is outdated. It can easily be replaced by other people. In fact, when I was helping my friend, right, I was trying to help my friend for a school bus system. Right, we designed certain system like this. In fact, some of the school bus companies already have that, right, for tracking. All these are not high tech anymore. They want to show that they are high tech. It's not. The world will laugh at you when you have such a cumbersome system, right? So please, when the next election comes, please, vote wisely. Question your PAP candidates, just like I do. I have put it very straight. The economic value of route pricing is not about charging by distance that you travel. No, never. It is a misnomer. Nobody do that. Because you are already charging by having petrol tax. Okay? Route pricing is only for, number one, large spaces when you build long, extended highway where the government do not have money to build themselves. Then you subcontracted to private entities to build the road and let them charge the toll. That's number one. Number two, right? Route pricing is about regulating traffic during peak hours when there are competitive usage. Okay? It's never about, oh, how much you drive, then how much you pay. Never. It's already done in a very simple, primitive way of a taxation on your petrol. Full stop. Even when you drive your electric car, the electric tariff on the electricity is already taxing you for the amount of road that you drive. Isn't it not? Right? So what rubbish is PAP trying to do? To change the narrative. Distance-based route pricing. My goodness. They actually twisted the concept of route pricing. Twisted the need of the route pricing. It's never to charge you, pay and make you pay and pay and pay and pay. No, it's never like that. Because that's the role of the government to provide public goods like road. Okay? Road pricing is about regulating traffic. Number one. Number two, when the government don't have money to build long, effective road, the highway, the toll comes in for the private entity, not the government. Right? In Hong Kong, there are tolls underground. No, under the Victoria Harbour, there are three tunnels where cars can go from the Kowloon to the Hong Kong Island and come back. Those are given to the private companies to build, and they collect toll. Right? To do the maintenance and to take back their ROI, return of investment. That is the road pricing that we are talking about. Other than that, why you collect tax? You already collect tax, that's your role to maintain the public goods of the roads for the residents, for Singaporeans, or for the Hong Kongers, for the better. Never allow PAP to twist your mind, right? And to contaminate the idea of what route pricing means. Right? And please hammer them, question them, what is this big white elephant doing down there, ERP 2.0? Total waste of money. Right? Not only waste taxpayers' money, waste our money in maintaining. We are going to spend more money on our car battery, definitely, because it shortened our car battery life. Right? We already face an ineffective COE system where the PAP government do not know how to manage it, where to do it. The concept of zero growth in cars, in vehicles, right? While they keep increasing the population, is actually disastrous. disastrous. I use the word. I say again, it's disastrous for the government to actually allow that to happen. If you want to continue to increase your population to 6 million, we now have 6 million people, I believe, to 6.9 million or even 10 million, and now you say we do not want, well, we want a zero growth for vehicles, then I tell you, all the businesses, all the small and medium enterprises will die. Right? Nobody can function efficiently. I do not know what the scholars are thinking. I think it's something is screwed up in there, down there. Right? They can actually have the cheek to say that. How can you have zero growth? I said we must have zero growth in car population, in the population of vehicles, when you keep increasing the population. I don't mind to have zero growth in car population if you reduce the population, you reduce the input of foreign migrants. Below 5 million and the current car population is okay. It is the same. It is the same that they cannot. Their thinking is solo, right? Different department, different ministries are thinking in their own perspective. Apparently, there's no coordination. Why I say that? It's the same in 2011. It is now happening again. From 2003, after Lee Hsien Loong took over as the Prime Minister, he increased the population in a greater speed ever. How to increase population when our fertility rate is so low? By getting foreign talent, input the foreigners, foreign workers, right? Foreign talent, foreign migrants, right? Giving new citizenship that nobody's business. Pump. Within that short period of time, up to 2011, the population actually increased in a very rapid speed. But, however, the infrastructure didn't catch up. Right? Infrastructure like what? Housing. They didn't build enough HDB. And that's why the HDB prices soared. And that's why I harmed them during 2011. Right? Hospital, they didn't build enough. That's why the hospital beds are not enough. It's cramped. It's still not enough right now. After they built 2 or 3 more hospitals, general hospitals. They did not plan in advance. They are not working in tandem. And, of course, the MRT system breakdown. Yeah, correct. The MRT system breakdown because they did not plan. Increase pass, signing CCAR with India, right? Increase the work pass permit, S pass, E pass, right? Asking people to come in is very easy because you take money only, give money, I sign a pass, you can come in already. But they never think beyond the numbers of migrants, the numbers of people that they are attracting, so-called. They didn't even bother about whether our public transport system can work, housing enough, right? A car, our public road network is enough. They just come in. And then they are repeating the same mistake again right now. Just after 10 years, they didn't learn their lesson. They actually can come up with such slogan. Within 2 years, they increased by more than 10%, because during the COVID time, our population is 5.3, 5.4 million. Right? Within 1-2 years, right? It shot up to 6 million right now. How can that be? And yet you have a chip to say that we must control the car population, right? And put zero growth. Siao, I tell you, they're crazy. They didn't even know how to coordinate growth. And who suffer? We suffer. We suffer high costs. We suffer high inflation. We suffer high COE. And the worst part, after attracting so many people come in, they turn around and tell us they have no money, not enough money, they want to increase GST. I've explained already. There's no reason for them to increase GST. Right? Because the purpose of having more foreign migrant workers to come here to work is to supplement the loss of our labor force due to aging population. And at this moment, we have about 20% who have reached 65 above retirement age. Right? For another 7 years, 2030, my generation will reach retirement age in 12 years' time. My generation, I always say, my generation is the last batch of baby boomers. And that will be the peak of the aging population. It will be more than 25%, aging up to the 30%. Right? But 30% of a population of citizens of about $4 million, now it's 3.7 million, even 4 million, right? 30%. How many? 600,000 only, what? That means 600,000 people are in retirement. That means out of workforce. So how many foreign migrants workers do you need to supplement this loss of labor? 600,000 correct? Then why could you have 2 million, more than 2 million foreigners on our soil? You have more than enough people to actually come here and work or stay as student, whatever, to pay GST. There's no reason for the government to say bolu yuan. No reason, absolutely no reason. As I said, the role of the government is to look at how much money they collect from GST, from tax income, taxes and all that, and redistribute to spend. Right? They should have more than enough because of the foreign, we have a huge foreign migrants in Singapore. Now 40%, it will go up to 45% soon. Right? Maybe reach half our population in Singapore will be foreigners. How can you say you have no money when your tax base has been expanding? There's only one reason. The PAP government have overspent. And no one have been checking them in Parliament. Scrutinize them for every dollar they have spent. Spend on things like this toy, outdated toy, technological white elephant. $500 million just spent on that. But Singaporeans don't feel it. Right? Or rather, they are apathetic, they don't bother. They can spend $1 billion, almost $1 billion on two. I already show you what. It's on their tender document. They spend almost $1 billion on 2 MRT stations. My goodness. That's the way they spend money. That's the way they spend it. I was shocked. I look at the price. Did I read something wrong with it? No. Two station, MRT station for $1 billion. That's how they spend money. if Singaporeans don't wake up, if Singaporeans don't see something is really wrong with this government in overspending the money, and they will come back for you for more by increasing GST, increasing road pricing by distance, right? Increasing water prices, increasing almost everything, because they cannot manage the account, balance the account, because they have been overspending. Then you suffer, no? We all suffer together. You have to realize, I always believe in karma. You face the consequences for your own choice. If you continue to vote PAP, who likes to overspend on things like that? Who spend money like nobody business? Right? And when they have not enough money, they just increase the population by having more migrant workers. Or worse, increase GST, increase taxes. Then we kaput lah. Right? It is about time that we take governance seriously. I don't think most Singaporeans know what is governance. What is good, effective, and efficient governance? From this simple case of ERP 2.0, it's only for their face value. There's absolutely no benefits at all. What benefits? Additional benefits that can be done without such expensive gadget. And this is not all, you know. You think without building the gantry, why you can save money on the gantry? No. Because if you are going to do all these things, capture every car that go in, go out, whatever, right? You will need a lot of data processing. You need data centers. You most of you need a supercomputer to manage it. All these are costing, right? Then we come back to us again. Who pays? Does it actually make sense that by doing all this, maybe you can increase the collection of taxes, but most of it will go into maintaining all these expensive technological gadgets, the back end? Then what? Does it actually make sense? That's why in my TikTok show, I asked, they have never shown us the benefit cost analysis, right, for scrutiny, right? Benefit cost analysis of what this whole thing can do that the current simple technology, a simple free apps can do. Free apps, okay, Waze is a free apps can do that we cannot do. That these free apps cannot do, right? Then you know that you need accountability from the PAP government. Go and think about it. That's all for today. Okay, good night.